This is RT International, starting with breaking news this hour. New Zealand police are responding to what they're calling a critical incident at a mosque in the city of Christchurch. Local media report a gunman has opened fire inside of the building. Eyewitnesses suggest an unknown number of people have been killed and that a gunman stormed the mosque with 300 people inside. Witnesses say the number of victims could be dozens. According to reports, at least 30 people have been hospitalised so far. Police have called on local people to stay indoors. The shooter reportedly live-streamed his actions on Facebook. Meanwhile, another shooting has reportedly started at another mosque. Here's what some of the people at the scene are saying.
It was unbelievable. I saw in the main room on the right-hand side about 20 plus people. Some of them were dead, some of them were screaming. On the left-hand side, I saw about 10 plus people. Some of them were dead and some of them were screaming, and they were asking me, is there any ambulance on the way? I said, be patient. And I saw on the floor the bullet shells, so many hundreds.
The blood is spitting on me, splashing on me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen to me now. But fortunately, I'm alive, and so this is at moment, I don't expect these kind of things in New Zealand. What I did was basically waiting for that and praying to God, oh God, please, let this guy run out of bullets. And when it stopped, first time I went, but one guy was sitting out just beside a wall, and what he did was, he told me, no. And then I went back again where I was. And next thing, the guy came and shoot this guy who told me not to get out. That was a sad moment, and I know that guy. And he shot him straight in the chest.
We're now joined live by Tim Beale, researcher and Asia specialist. Mr. Beale, thank you for joining us on the programme at such short notice. Now, we do understand we're dealing with a very serious situation here, but there's still a lot of unconfirmed details circulating. So can you tell us more about what's happening and what's being reported right now?
No, I don't know very much more than you do. We've seen reports that there are 2 mosques being attacked, so presumably there's more than one shooter. We know, well, we can gather that it was sort of military-style weapons because, automatic fire, and so forth. But as far as I know, no one's claimed responsibility. There's been no statement from the police about that. I understand the Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, is speaking at this moment. She may have some more news, but at the moment it's just hanging on and seeing what reports come in, what the police can piece together, and whether anyone will explain why they've done this.
You're a lot closer than we are. You're in New Zealand yourself. How many casualties does it look like there's going to end up being? Of course, details are hazy at the moment. We're hearing that hospitals are getting ready to receive up to 50 people. What are you hearing there?
Well, I don't know. I saw one report, 9 people. I think you probably get a bit of sort of hysteria in situations like this, but who knows? I mean, if one or more people have been firing, we know in 2 places with automatic weapons, they can kill a hell of a lot of people and injure a lot of people, can do huge damage in a very short period of time. So we can just hope that the damage won't be as bad as it might be. But beyond that, of course, there will be this huge psychological and political damage, because as far as I know, this is the first time this has happened, a religious shooting of this sort has happened in New Zealand. We've had, massacres before, deranged people, but this is the first time a mosque has been attacked. And so the implications of that are really very, very serious. And, New Zealand, in a sense, is coming into the 21st century.
As we just said, you know, it's very early on. We still have no confirmation on who is responsible, although there are reports that one particular man has claimed responsibility via social media. That's unconfirmed at this point. Could this attack be considered an act of terrorism, do you think?
Well, I presume it is. I mean, if he attacks in a mosque, one report said he was light-skinned, so one presumes that he wasn't a Muslim himself. So one presumes, the assumption would be, I think, that it is a terrorist attack, that somebody has been doing it for political, religious, a mixture of reasons, all compounded by, you know, some sort of derangement, perhaps. But a terrorist attack, I think, is the obvious assumption at this stage.
There are reports that schools in the local area are on lockdown and people are being told to stay indoors. How are people in New Zealand feeling about the scale or the potential scale of this attack?
Well, I think the norm in situations like this is to have a lockdown, to keep everyone inside, especially the children in schools, and that's what one might expect. One can imagine there's a huge amount of shock. One of the sort of interesting things that apparently the Bangladeshi cricketers were at the mosque praying at the time. Now, one of the things that unites New Zealand and parts of the Muslim world, Bangladesh, South Asia generally, is cricket. So this adds a sort of an uneasy connection, if you like, between us, between other New Zealanders and Muslim New Zealanders, this shared interest in cricket, and that just adds another sort of rather sad dimension to this massacre.
And of course, there are reports that the attacker or attackers live streamed the shooting on Facebook, which adds a particularly perverse element to this shooting. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think that's probably, again, sort of standard practice nowadays. I mean, if you're doing an act like this, you're making a point. You want the publicity. You're making a statement, and so social media, I suppose, is an obvious, way to do that. So, I don't suppose we can be surprised. That might be horrified, but I don't think we can be surprised that is what these gun shooters, like I say, gunmen, we don't even know. I suppose they are men. We can't be surprised they do use social media, and that, of course, in a sense, produces further problems down the line as it becomes more and more. People get used to it, and we may get conceivably revenge attacks and so forth. So it's a very sad day for New Zealand.
Indeed. Tim Beale, researcher and Asia specialist, thank you for joining us on RT International at such short notice to speak on this, what appears to be a very terrible tragedy in New Zealand today.
Thank you, Nick.